Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode here in the North Cascades, the heart of the North Cascades, Skagit Valley, Washington, and welcome to S-4 Paranormal Radio. So, joining me tonight is my son John, Rick Pursley, and of course Nikki Jacobs. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Friend. Perfect. Friend, did you get some of those heavy boxes moved, Nikki? Like, did you get the heavier stuff moved? Enough that you can get some shit done? Perfect.
Excellent.
Friend. So tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about the random effects that happen after discovery. We always talk about someone actually finding Bigfoot, someone actually finding the Loch Ness Monster, someone actually, like us actually meeting, like the aliens actually making them known to the full population of the Earth.
Yep.
Or someone actually finding physical evidence of a spirit that is undeniable. So, like,
right.
Bringing the paranormal into the normal. Do you know what I mean? We always talk about that. Mm-hmm. What I want to talk about is the effects that could happen after it. Like, some of our greatest discoveries.
Vast.
Yeah, because, like, some of our greatest discoveries have led to some of our biggest disasters.
Yeah?
Yep.
Like how to split an atom.
Yeah. The splitting of the atom led to the A-bomb. Like, and whether it's really
gunpowder
ethical of us to bring these things into the known, I guess is how I'd put it.
Well, I know one big thing that would drastically change.
What's that?
Religion.
Well, of course.
That would be like the first thing that...
I don't think Bigfoot would change religion that much.
No, but like...
There'd be a few.
Yeah, a few. Like mine. Spaghetti monster.
E.T. would.
Yeah, it would be the big one. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
For some religions, like, that's the thing. A lot of them, not a lot of them.
Yeah, for some,
Like,
not a lot.
Catholics, we now have to accept it. Because the Pope has said it's okay. Well, no, but the Pope has said that if aliens are real, they're welcome to join the Catholic religion.
Right.
So he has pretty much said it is okay to believe that aliens are real.
So...
Yeah, by making a statement like that, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Might have another holy crusade against aliens.
Well, that was the Catholics, wasn't it? So, yeah, I don't think... No. I think there would be denial. I think that obviously the like the evangelicals, and I know of what I speak of from Texas. I've been part of an evangelical church. They would be in full denial. There would be, this is, Hollywood. This is, a bunch of sinners from the East or West Coast. None of this is real. You would literally, you could put an alien
surprised.
in front of them. No, not all. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying there are the evangelicals generally tend to be a little bit more like, we know there's because they don't want to accept that there might be something besides what we are. Because it gets into the doctrine. It gets into the, God created the heaven and the earth, and the, so it's Genesis and all that. It messes with their belief system. And they'll deny. I know plenty of them that would deny it. You could have the alien walk up, shake their hand, and they would not believe it. They'd believe it was some kind of Hollywood hoax. So,
well, and that's the thing. Like, our Pope has just changed the thinking of the uppers of the diocese for him, because, as he explains it, yes, God created the heavens, the earth, and hell. But those are all three different planes of existence. So, Earth can include the entire universe, therefore he would have created everything within the universe, therefore he did create aliens. Which is why they should join Catholics.
Yeah.
Like,
we must bring them to...
The guy knows how to get numbers, I'm just telling you.
We need to bring Jesus Christ into the aliens world.
Yeah.
We can be... We can be like the people that go to indigenous tribes.
Well, we're gonna be the Jehovah's Witnesses of space.
Yeah.
Instead of going door to door, we're gonna go ship to ship.
And instead of going to indigenous islands, we're gonna go to different planets.
Great.
Oh my God.
That's not. I don't like that plan. I don't like the plan John has.
Have you met your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Fucking humans. Excuse my language. Oh.
Okay, that's something I gotta tell you guys.
But that opens a whole new job market.
So last night we were watching how the universe was made. I think that's what the show's called.
Yeah, how the universe was made. It says it in every intro.
Yeah. So we were watching that, and I am just about asleep. It is like 12:30, and my eyes are just starting to shut, and all of a sudden I hear a guy that we don't hear from very often say, "How the fuck do they get a planet so close to the sun?" I have never heard a scientist swear in this show.
Oh, wow.
And I looked over at Kayla like, did that just happen? Did he say that? She's like, yeah, I think that's why we don't see him very often.
Now that's funny.
Yeah, it was perfect timing type of thing. Because otherwise I don't think I would have noticed it.
Well, the fact that they kept it in.
Yeah. Friend.
You got to have a little bit of radical in there to keep the show interesting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's Carl Sagan and you go to sleep. So,
yeah, no kidding. Friend. I like going to sleep to his shows. Friend. It's even better now that Neil deGrasse Tyson took over.
Oh yeah.
Friend.
Yeah, he's got a nice voice too. It's sort of that little baritone sort of off you go. Yeah.
No, I go to sleep angry when it's him. I really don't like him.
But why?
Oh well.
Huh?
He's such a cool dude.
This is why people don't believe we're related.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. My dad and I, if you were to poll us on 100 different topics, I guarantee you there'd probably be like 3 that we agree on, and it's all the economy, and that's it. So, yeah.
Oh! Did you hear the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight got changed? The rules?
What?
It's now going to be an official fight. Jake Paul can't wear headgears and he has to take a drug test too, so he can't be on anything. They're using 14-ounce gloves, and it will be judged by a guy, and there are knockouts. Yeah.
Cool.
So
There kind of has to be knockouts.
yeah. But in the
Still feels
previous
like-
set of rules, knockouts weren't allowed.
What do you mean not allowed? What if he did it by accident?
It doesn't count then.
All I
So-
know is Mike Tyson was walking around with a cane about a month ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that I'm not convinced this is going to turn out legitimate no matter what happens.
But
I wouldn't say legitimate, but I see it being. Well, let's put it this way: Jake Paul's going to see ghosts before any of us. For-
I hope so. I
He's
really do.
he's going to get his ear nibbled on by Mike.
Oh, that would be the best too. If they set it up and it is staged where he does actually bite a chunk out of his ear,
Yeah.
then he's willing to sell it like a wrestling thing where it's like Jake's like, "Oh, my ear," but he was in on it. So
Yeah.
No!
I wonder if that one's
Oh.
cherry flavored too.
Or Jake Paul gets a new...
are you kidding me?
Or Jake Paul gets an earring. It's Mike Tyson's, like, dentures.
I'm sorry, what was that, Rick? What did you just say?
Oh no, I was just going to say, do you not understand how these Paul brothers? You probably don't. No,
I used to enjoy boxing once in a while, and
Right.
I haven't for about a good 20 years.
Oh,
I was
oh.
just like, no.
No, Nikki, this isn't traditional boxing. This kid is a YouTuber. He and his brother have made a career out of they like his brother got in trouble because he went to the hanging forest, I guess, over in Japan, and they've actually found like he was recording live and he found a dead person and he was making fun of them. And he caught heat for that, but he's managed to turn his career around, and now he's in the WWE. And he's actually, I hate to say it, he's a really good wrestler. But the other brother was the first one. He was the one that got famous first. And they do all this boxing stuff now. Or these, like, combat sports. And they've won fights. But I still think it's all fake. I think it's rigged. So, but yeah, it wouldn't shock me any if he sold, because it would make him money somehow to have his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson. So, yeah.
Well,
It's YouTube. It's the social media shit. They make gajillions of dollars off of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember the times of Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray and
Oh, those were the good days.
others. Yeah,
Yeah.
those were the good days.
friend, I like.
Sugar Ray. Oh my God, the man had moves.
Oh yeah, he did.
Damn.
Even Tyson's days were pretty good though.
Yeah, I do have to say there were,
Before
he
the
had-
zombie
he had
moment.
his times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had his times.
Well, he murdered people for about a good 2-year period until he ran into what's his face, Buster Douglas, over in Japan.
Yeah.
That's still one of the most shocking things I've ever seen. I had HBO at the time, and we were flipping between the NBA slam dunk contest and that, and we thought the boxing match was going to be over with. We kept coming back to the boxing matches. Why is it still going on? And then Buster won. So it was like, oh my God, we just witnessed history. We never thought Mike Tyson would ever lose because he was just a machine.
Yeah,
was
and you know what? Though this one,
The hammer.
I still think Jake Paul's going to get real hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, I hope so.
when you watch them both train, when Jake Paul hits the trainer's hand, The trainer pushes back. You can see him holding his fist and then pushing against it. When Mike Tyson hits the pad, the trainer moves back 2 feet.
Yeah.
Like,
and you can, and if you like listen closely, you can hear the guy just grunt every single time in like pain.
yeah. Whereas Jake Paul's guy is like smiling. So.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is, I think maybe, and Nikki had a good, Muhammad Ali, maybe he does the whole rope-a-dope thing where he, just sort of ducks and dodges, and he's going to be faster. So you just avoid contact, and you just try to win on technical. If they're going to make it a legitimate boxing match,
he might.
you just win on scoring.
Yeah, it won't be official. Johnny can't be.
Yeah.
Right.
Tyson isn't allowed to fight officially anymore.
Right.
That's just what I've heard.
They're going to follow official rules. That's all that means.
Yeah.
Friend. Because, Tyson's not allowed to do that anymore because he retired.
Where are they doing this fight at, John? Where is this going to be?
I'm pretty sure it's Vegas.
Yeah, but you're going to be able to watch. You're going to be able to live stream it on Netflix, I believe.
Okay.
Way.
Is what they're doing it on.
The Nevada Athletic Commission, I guess, if they're just going to be doing it as an entertainment thing, but I thought that would be. Even wrestling has to go through the Nevada Athletic Commission whenever they show up to Vegas.
Well, and that's probably why they have Jake Paul has to do all the original stuff, but they can't even. So the way they get around that is Ali's last fight was done this way, where they followed the official rules, but it is not a sanctioned fight.
Okay.
So it will not count. If Mike Tyson wins, it doesn't count.
Yeah, it won't be on his personal record.
Yeah, his record can't go up from it.
Okay, got it.
Neither can Paul's.
All right.
Yeah.
When are you going to be able to people on that?
And I just looked it up. Yeah, the only place you're going to be able to watch it is on Netflix and anything that is affiliated with it.
Okay. Good thing I have Netflix.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be fun to watch.
I still can't believe that's on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Weird.
Wait,
Yeah.
so you're going to be, you have to pay and... Sorry, Nikki.
Okay.
What was
I
that,
was
Nick?
just gonna say, they make so much money on the pay-per-views that, or at least they have for years. Are they still doing that kind of thing now?
Yeah, and it's a piss-off still. Because you buy,
Really?
who was it? Ronda Rousey's fight. Her last big one.
Uh-huh.
Friend. The one time she lost. Friend. We expected that fight to go on for a good 6 rounds. And round 2 she was done. She just quit. Friend.
Yep.
She gave up. And went down like a sack of potatoes.
Because there's a difference.
Yeah.
You can see it in the body language of the boxer when they literally, there's a fraction of a second, and you can see it in their body language, whether it's registered in their brain or not. Their body shows it.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that I really, when I was a kid watching boxing with my mom. That was a lot of things that I noticed, but that was one of them. When a boxer makes it's almost like an illogical or almost an unconscious decision. The body is reacting to it before it catches up with the brain, and you can see it in boxing. That really shows up in boxing.
See, in this one, it was 10 seconds into the second round. She got hit with a roundhouse kick.
Yeah.
And she stood up, and her face went from confident and ready to go to fear. That's all you could read on her face.
Yeah, because she finally got hit.
Yeah, and she knew she was going to lose. Friend, she knew just from that one kick.
Yeah, it's that was the one, and I've heard talk going into that fight where the money in Vegas was going towards the other person because they were just like, it was a different kind of fighting, because this is MMA stuff, Nikki. This is the mixed martial art, not all the wrestling moves and everything else. It was something that she had never come up against. And it's like that one gal had figured out, okay, this is how the cheat code, how to break her. So, Ronda Rousey. So, yeah, and it worked perfectly. And then they had a rematch, and then it was the same thing. And then it was over. And she went to wrestling. Ronda Rousey did. So.
And then, because everyone she was going to fight against started learning those methods. And so she didn't have a choice. She started doing movies and then went to wrestling.
Yep. And she's good at neither of them.
Yeah, she's a shitty actress. But it is what it is.
Wrestling either. I mean, she's okay. She wrestles fine, but she's terrible with her all the talking parts that you need to do to be a wrestler. So
she's like John.
Hey.
I just heard your trash talk with Yahtzee. Don't even.
Hey. I wasn't even trying.
Yeah, you gotta work a little harder on your game there, son. Because if I went up against bigger, faster, stronger people, and I would talk crap to them, and they would just kick my butt at all kinds of different sports and intramurals and like league sports, like softball and everything else. And I didn't care, but I was confident I was going to go out there. I wouldn't back down from it. I'd tell them all how badass I was, and then of course I would suck. So,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, I talked a good game. So.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drag us back to the original thing here by asking a question.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Bringing physical evidence out of a ghost. Undeniable proof.
Well, that would upset
Do you guys
Al
think?
Park.
Well, do you guys think it's ethical to do it?
Well, I don't know why
Depends on
not.
if the ghost is willing. Depends on if the spirit is willing, because it to me it's not a ghost unless they're earthbound. But
what if it doesn't just affect them?
Well, I don't know.
Like, what if they're a recent one that still has family here, and some of that family doesn't want to hear from them at all?
Yeah.
But maybe the kind of person that doesn't care.
But on the other side, there might be someone that passed that they really want to talk to. Say, like, in their dying moments, they said, I buried the $1 million dead. Kind of want to talk to them.
Because what I'm thinking about
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
What about all the people who have trauma issues with people who have passed? And now they know that there's a possibility their ghost is out there. These are the effects I'm talking about. Like, think of the domino effect that could have on people's mental health.
Yeah, but it would just kind of screw it up for like a little bit, but after a while, it just become the norm.
Well, and also, I mean, you got to think about it. It's one. Okay, see, let's assume it's somebody like a whistleblower. So the ghost whistleblower comes out. What if they don't care about what everybody else thinks, or they're the people that are, that are going to know that they're, out there still in existence, except in spirit form? Some people just don't care. They're just a-holes. So
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, okay, we constantly say on here that the government has this information about aliens, about Bigfoot, about Loch Ness, about most of the cryptids, and about ghosts. I mean, supposedly a few of our agencies have whole offices dedicated to the spiritual realm.
Wouldn't shock me.
So why haven't they released it yet if it's ethical?
Well,
Because once you release that, any information is public. Because now you can't silence people just by killing them off.
Why not?
Because then they become a ghost, and then they could tell everyone.
They still could
or
tell
how
everyone.
are you going to? What agency do you go to ask? Have you investigated ghosts and are they real? Like,
Yeah, well, it
which-
depends on. If the ghost is in the United States, it's the FBI.
Yeah. Or the Ghostbusters.
Well, or NSA.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
NSA. But we do have... The FBI supposedly does have a paranormal division that investigates spiritual creatures. Friend, I didn't know that until last week.
I guess it'd be to suppress panic. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, most of the country believes. I think most of the polls suggest most of the country believes in aliens or ghosts, the paranormal in general, or anything in our particular regular. So
No, okay, when it comes to ghosts, Rick, I do have to say, I understand.
right.
What does every movie teach us when a bad man attacks your family?
Kill them.
No, if
Oh.
you're a kid. If you're a kid.
Hide.
In the end, they will get what's coming to them. Half of the time it's the chair. And you
Yeah.
never have to deal with them again. Your life is better now.
But now it's...
But if they release
We don't
that
know anybody now.
they can continue on, then
Well, no, most killers now, Texas and Oklahoma are about the only ones that put anybody to death anymore. Most of the killers that do horrible things live out their lives comfortably fed in a nice maximum security prison. Now, I guess they don't get cable. I hope they don't. But
where's San Quentin?
well, I haven't. San Quentin. I don't know. I mean, that's a regular prison. It's not max security. So
Where is it?
I mean, well, it's a prison. Yes, they get
No, but which state is it in?
California.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know. But did you know that they are the only one to have ever used a gas chamber?
Yeah.
In the United
Years
States?
ago.
Friend. Yeah, in the 60s.
Yeah.
Friend. I watched a documentary today on Danny Trejo.
Mm-hmm.
Friend, did you know Charles Manson asked him for protection?
Oh, okay. Well, that stands to reason.
Because he was considered the most dangerous person in there at that time.
That's not shocking at all.
Correct.
The more shocking thing is, every now and then I'll be watching one of these channels that review bad movies, and Danny Trejo will show up in something, and it's like from the 70s. So I'm like, I thought he was in prison in the 70s. How is he in a movie? But apparently, Danny Trejo is old and still scary.
Yes. Yes, he is. Friend.
Yeah.
He went to prison in 66, 67, 68.
Yeah.
So, and then when he got out, he had 3 years before he started making movies, and he was in Robert Rodriguez's first movie.
Damn.
Yep.
Friend.
He's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in kids' movies. And the thing is, he was in the Spy Kids movies.
He
Oh,
was on Barney.
he also did a special where he was on SpongeBob.
That's not shocking at all. With SpongeBob, actually, that seems normal
Yeah.
for that show.
I mean, they had Hasselhoff on there in the movie.
Yeah.
Friend.
Still, I think Paula really wants to get that large prop. They actually made a, ginormous prop where he's doing a thing where he's, sprinting across the ocean. Like, he's using his feet, and he's like, do you remember the scene? Have you ever watched the movie?
No. I
The
don't think
SpongeBob
so.
movie with
No.
Hasselhoff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a scene where Hasselhoff is like, he's going across the ocean, and he's taking Patrick and SpongeBob, and he's using his feet like he's just like rocketing across the ocean. They actually made a full-sized like replica of Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
With the feet and everything, and Paula wants that.
And then they just superimposed his face onto it. Friend. Yeah.
She is weird about Hasselhoff. It is the most bizarre thing. That and Bob Ross, I do not understand. But that's another subject for another day. But yeah, Hasselhoff people are strange.
Yeah.
Sign Germans.
Okay, now I get the Bob Ross thing. The art.
Friend.
Oh my god.
I gotta show you guys something. Friend, in the... Well, I'm gonna have to send it to both because Nikki's not in...
Are we doing it in our group, or are we doing it in the...
I'm gonna do it in both. The group, the chat and the group.
What are we doing?
Okay.
I gotta show you something. I gotta find it though.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there it is. Oh god.
Word work. Piece of crap.
Alright.
Hold on.
There we go. Work. How the hell can I not take a screenshot? Come on. Oh, because I'm pressing the wrong buttons.
Radio.
This is his oldness at work.
Yeah. It really is. There we go.
Shut up, John.
For-
Shut up, John.
He's not wrong. That was not working for me. Jesus.
He's not used to modern technology. He's used to stone tablets.
It's a volume button with the... Yeah, there it is.
Okay. And then round table.
Oh, that!
Okay, so this past week...
God.
This past week,
That's awesome.
my hometown, that is my dad's old shop in the background, that blue, white, and red building.
Wow.
Friend,
Cool.
they did event
A
where
lot of people.
they invited the Guinness Book of World Records out to break the record for the most dinosaur costumes in one area.
Oh god, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is dinosaur costumes. I swear to God, I thought it was a bunch of people dressed up like the weird protesters. I thought...
Oh, it reminds me of Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
They had 3,000. They had 3,000 wristbands to give out for anyone who fit the thing. They ran out halfway through. Their final count was in the 5,000s.
So they won.
Oh yeah, they blew that record out of the water. Friend, there was one guy who didn't get a wristband, but he had the best costume out there. He was the meteor.
Oh my god, Paul and I were just stumbling around the YouTube like we usually do, and at night, and we stumbled across. They have these soapbox derbies over in England, but basically what it is, it's grown-ups with like they get these little like carts where they build them and they put like themes on them, so it's sort of like a parade float. But they go with these themes and everything else. They had an Indiana Jones one where they did from the Temple of Doom with the mine car where they're going through at the end of the movie, and they're going through the mine on the mine car and you're swinging around and everything else. So they had that, and behind them, so the guy in the cart, so they had a pretend short round that they made out of like paper mache that's sitting in the front, and they had the guy in the Indiana Jones outfit, and they had just the legs for the gal. So they're in the cart that's coming down the hill, and behind him there's a guy wearing the Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark outfit with the boulder chasing him as they went along. So they got this whole thing going now. It's funny as hell. And you have to go over these like bouncy things, and they got all these chicanes and all this other stuff to get through. You can They've been doing it apparently for years. So fun stuff. Get a chance on YouTube. Soapbox England.
So that photo, all of the videos and everything from that actually spurred this topic for tonight.
Oh, okay.
Because, and in a roundabout fucking way. Because me and Kayla were on the way home one day after work, and we were talking about the Drumheller thing. And then we talked about, because we were going down South Skagit. You both know what South Skagit's like.
Yep.
If they actually brought back dinosaurs, that is the worst fucking road in this area to be on. Because look at how close those trees get to your vehicle. And how thick they are.
South Skagit River?
Well, no, South Skagit Highway right beside the river. So there's Highway 20 and then South Skagit comes along the other side.
Got it, yeah.
Friend, the trees are so thick that you wouldn't see a pack of raptors coming at you. And then when you get to the clearing, you gotta worry about the fucking T-Rex.
Well, and that's where they...
you know? That would not be fun.
Yeah. Well, that's where they botched the last Jurassic World movies, where they set up where they had escaped into the wild, and it made it seem like there were going to be T-Rexes that were just showing up at drive-ins and stuff. And that apparently didn't happen. That was something with locusts or some kind of weird other storyline that they wandered away from. So.
I love that movie. The first one and that one are probably my favorite out of the entire series.
Let's just let them loose and see what happens. Oh God, that would be, you know.
I mean, can you imagine a little raptor with? I mean, Blue. I remember that movie. I mean, that was. I actually you get attached. The storyline is such to where you, as an audience, will love the baby Blue.
Well, so Kayla says to me, it would be fine. It would just turn into the norm. Because we already have predators up here, like cougars and stuff, and I'm like, when the fuck have you ever seen someone look at a cougar and say, clever girl? Like, come the fuck on!
And I don't think a cougar can squash your entire car with one step.
Yeah, cougars can't jump on your car and stomp on it. And like
crush it like a pancake.
Well, they can, but they're getting shot if they do.
I don't think that'll do anything to something that big.
You hit a raptor in an SUV one, especially those little dumbass electric ones they have now. You'll all be the raptor will be toast. You'll be toast. And you'll all be. All the airbags in the world won't save you.
Oh, that is so wrong. On
that would be so scary camping. You just hear clawing at your door, and then it opens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be the one thing. You would be alive. The airbag would save you. You would be laying there and trying to crawl out of the car after you hit one of them, and then the rest of them show up to eat you. Yeah, that's.
No. Try being. Now this is from a friend of mine. Try being in a tent, and Sasquatch. You've got Sasquatch footprints right up against where your tent is at.
Whoa. That's cool. Hopefully it wasn't
a You get up in the morning and there's Sasquatch prints everywhere around your camp. That's a little disturbing, and you slept through it. You slept through part of it.
So
I had a friend tell me that.
The other part that brought this up is actually kind of the same thing, Nikki.
Say that again?
The other part that brought this up is kind of the same thing. because we're going to kind of have that happening a lot more here. Not with Sasquatch, but the Squirrel and Guppy Association, if you know what I mean by that. Okay. Right, Fish and Game, for anyone who doesn't,
Okay.
has officially announced that they will be releasing grizzlies back into our area. As close as Marble Mount.
Well, that's...
But we are not supposed to worry. Because they have scolded these grizzlies severely and told them to only eat berries.
No, like that's gonna do anything.
And they will only eat berries according to the Fish and Game Association.
John, are you sure you wanted to go in law enforcement for this state? I'm really I consider this. It's
Might not be
another state, yes.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And that's kind of where the idea of the idea of discovery and invention leading to ethical situations. Is this ethical for the people in this area? Is it ethical for the wildlife in this area?
Maybe.
Now here's another side to it. It's not a devil's advocate type of thing, but it's just... So what happened to the timber wolves when they released the wolves back into basic population?
Someone blew a dog whistle
around, I think it was 3 states.
Yeah, someone blew
timber wolves in 5 years. I dominated. It was something like 5 less. It was less than 8 years, but a little bit more than 5 years timeline.
But then
there was a major shift. Someone
in northern Alberta a few months ago blew a dog whistle really loud, and they all took off north. Because they were supposed to take care of the elk problem that we had from the elk they put into this area.
Seems they're just causing more problems.
You know what they do in Texas? They call it hunting season. And they just put everything on. You got to tell you got your permit for this, permit for that, and you just hunt all of them. And you do it within reason, and you do it for a little bit of time, thin out the herds, and nature goes about its business, and you start again the next year.
Well, if they're trying to control population right now, apparently we have too many berries in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, can't account for everything. Yeah.
Grizzlies, really?
One of them's going to get a really good meal. Because, people in sleeping bags are the soft tacos of the bear world. And John sleeps in a sleeping bag almost every second weekend at his grandma's in her garage.
Oh my!
Which the door to that, they can totally just push open.
I thought grizzlies were an Alaskan bear.
Nope.
I thought black bears were more... Brown and black bears were more...
There is grizzlies all the way down to Colorado. Originally, a grizzly is not even a mountain bear. It is a prairie bear.
Yeah, Grizzly Adams was
when we moved into the prairies, they moved into the mountains.
Yeah, but you can't try to force a species back into its original freaking habitat from that many years ago.
Because we're in the thousands of years.
That takes a lot of training.
Yeah.
Nikki, this is the federal government. They don't care what logic is. They want to.
Government doesn't give a shit. That's obvious. They don't even. That's a whole nother subject, and you can get me started up on a major tirade. But that I completely agree. But wow, that's a lot of.
There is a possibility it's a new ad campaign. Because Smokey the Bear over the years has kind of been losing numbers. But now if you start a wildfire, he'll rip your throat out.
They stopped doing a lot of stuff with Smokey the Bear, and then recently, like in the last year and a half, started bringing him back.
Well, yeah,
I was
they
like,
have to.
when the hell did they really start bringing Smokey back?
Well,
they kind of need him.
to have somebody tell the idiots when you're watching television to, like, hey, maybe not throw your cigarette out on the side of the road in the middle of an area that's under a burn ban. Even though I don't think that would matter, because I don't think those people watch it anyway. So,
actually, most of it here isn't cigarettes. The problem actually is people having campfires where you're not supposed to. That is our biggest issue.
Oh yeah, but
embers, burning embers.
Yeah, Bren.
I'm not beating on cigarettes on this. I'm just saying there are bad people that drink and drive, and there are bad people that smoke cigarettes and throw them out into the... It's not an indictment on cigarettes, and it's an indictment on idiots. So,
okay, in the winter and in the spring and fall, if it's already raining out, and I know it's going to rain within, if we have enough moisture in the air, I will let our fire pit burn out because it's on the gravel. There's nothing flammable near it. So I'll let it burn out so I don't have to use a wet piece of log next time to restart it. During the summer, as soon as we're done, I immediately take a hose to it. Every time.
Yeah. Well, that's just being responsible.
But how many people in the woods actually do that?
Well, you mean the Seattle people that come up for the weekend and... yeah.
Even our kids. Our kids that are having, the bushfires, they go out in the bush, they party with their friends, and then they all take off.
Yeah.
Not us. Not back in my time. I mean, whenever we partied, whether there was a fire pit or not, that was the one thing that no matter what we were doing, or who we were with, that was the one thing, and there could be anywhere from 3 to 15 of us, and that was the one thing that always got done. Fire pit empty. I mean, no embers, no burning, nothing, because nobody wanted to be the cause of. That was the fear. Nobody wanted to be the cause of some horrific forest fire. So that was. All of us did that.
Our test was we took the guy with the nicest vehicle that was out there, and he had to put his truck over it. If he was willing to put his truck over it, that fire was out. If he wasn't to have that truck sit there for half an hour, we need to do more to get that fire up.
I don't really have to deal with that. I just go right down to the river and just scoop up some water. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, but you got to remember, not all.
But you're going to go all the way down to the river.
Not all areas are going to be around water, so
and not all of our kids have that.
Yeah, and you have to know, even if whatever it is that you've been doing and monkeying around with, you have to have the conscious awareness to make sure that sucker's out. I remember there was a person I knew who always had a shovel in the back of their trunk, the car. Never thought too much about it, but boy, did it come in handy when we were turning embers over and throwing dirt on top of the fire, making sure and flipping it over repeatedly, making sure that it was out. That was not a fun job. Nobody wanted that job, but it was one that was important.
Yeah. We're in.
I'm looking at the picture from your hometown here, and right below your dad's old shop. Is that a UFO in and amongst all the dinosaurs?
It might be.
I'm not. Oh, wait. And zoom in. Oh wait, it's a gondola, or it's some kind of
No, yeah, that's a gazebo.
Oh, yep, there it is. Yep.
And the thing beside it, that's what's called a hoodoo.
Uh-huh.
So a hoodoo is a plateau with a flat rock on top, and it was created there's a whole bunch of them all over the place, and they were created by the glaciers melting. That one though is fake and it has bathrooms inside. So
That's
you can
just
go-
what I was going to ask.
Yeah, that's the bathrooms. There used to be 2 buildings there, and that was Don's Shoe Repair and something else. The truck that is sitting at the far end of the shop, that's my parents.
Huh.
My dad is sitting in that truck during that photo.
Oh.
Friend. But,
dirt. Are those dirt streets? Literally dirt streets.
no, that's cement.
That's cement?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just kind of dirty. Okay.
No, our streets are cleaner than yours.
Ah, bullshit. Canadian streets are dirty. You guys live out in the middle of the hinterlands. It's a bunch of like dust blowing and prairie weeds and everything else. I don't believe it.
Why can't I share that?
How is it concrete?
Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff I actually, because I was listening, I just didn't respond.
Sorry.
There's a bunch of things, earlier, but when I was gone, a bunch of things I wanted to comment on that you guys were talking about, and of course now I can't remember any of it.
Story of my
That's
life.
the day and night.
We were talking about the fires. Share that one with you guys.
Whoa! What's the blue flame?
Huh? That is where the gasoline went to.
That's what I thought.
And if you notice, that's me in the middle of it.
Uh-huh.
Friend. But that area, there isn't a sage bush for 100 meters, I'd say. Like, there is nothing on that. It's just pure clay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing under the ground either. Friend. So, no matter what we did there, it was always safe. Friend.
You had places like that.
I put it in that group. I didn't put it in the chat. There we go. Friend. But yeah, like that was me talking and not paying attention when I was pouring the gas onto the fire. And I think I had about a 4-minute conversation.
On fire. I don't even want to know the rest of that story on air.
It was fine. Like that's as far as it spread out. Really, it just I didn't have eyebrows for a few weeks. Friend, I was wearing a hat though, so I had hair. So
That called natural consequences.
no, it was called a new look.
Oh my God, Paula went. Okay, she went to potato parties in the potato fields. They threw potatoes at each other, carved them in totems, mooned each other, and drank from the barrel of reindeer nugget and roast ship wine.
Rose hip.
Why am I hearing this for the first time? Rose hip. Okay, excuse me.
Reindeer nuggets.
Reindeer nuggets.
There's only one place I can think of getting a nugget from a reindeer.
And like I said, it's Alaska. You know, you got to just
Rocky
assume.
Mountain Balls.
Yeah, they're a little. Their brains are frozen. So yeah. Based on some of the other stories she's told me, yeah.
There, I found a reindeer nugget.
Nice.
Friend,
But yeah, getting back to the original topic, I don't know. I mean, do you honestly think? I mean, like Bigfoot, nobody's going to blink an eye. Does somebody actually get? I mean, it will be big news, and it'll be like, oh, it's Bigfoot. Unless you get like one of the big ones, like a big, I guess Nessie or something that would
25
like
foot.
something that would hurt somebody potentially. Because as far as we know, no Bigfoot's ever hurt anybody. So
I think you're underestimating the intelligence of America, Rick.
do you think they
Maybe
would
no. Oh, I think you're overestimating the intelligence of America.
They go hunting.
I think we're gonna have way too many guys just running out there and trying to poach them.
regarding Bigfoot, you'd have hunters.
That one would have huge
Big
consequences.
Game hunters going, let's go do this, and you'd have
think
little
about
game
that.
hunters who don't do it very often out with guns in the fort. That's not something you want.
Yeah, you'd have that dentist trying to pose with them.
Well, we've already got them
Trying
out
to
there.
poke with a head. I mean, they did this in the frickin' 60s. Excuse me. This is a pet peeve of mine. Anyway, so...
And I think the same could be said about Nessie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. Very, very true.
Like,
But
by
when you were
bringing them
talking
out into
about
the open,
ETs, I mean, a lot of people that are abductees will finally feel vindicated in some fashion or form, but that's still not going to do it. I do know that Earth and humans on Earth will come out publicly. Do I have a timeline for that? Hell no. I just know what I've seen. The advancement of 100 and 400 years, and I know that within 20 years, ETs, it'll have made news, it'll be done and over with, it'll not be as big of a gigantic deal as it will be when it first comes out. And yeah, people really do become stupid when it comes to what they perceive as a threat that is not a threat. And that's the thing regarding such as Sasquatch, because of the fact that there are so many, there are people that are in the know as to how many, or not how many, but an estimation of how many types of Sasquatch there are. Because you look at Florida, you get into the skunk ape. Well, is the skunk ape really a Sasquatch? No, not really in the grand scheme of things. But yet, at the same time, it is. So, how many... and then you're looking at something like the Yeti in the, the Andes?
yeah.
Andes Mountains?
Mm-hmm.
And you look at something like that, but do we call him, it, her, whatever? Do we call that being a Sasquatch? Well, I don't, but yet I do, because they're so similar. So what is it that makes the Sasquatch different than the Yeti, than skunk ape, than many other species of it? I mean, what makes it subspecies, what makes the difference? And it's the same way with ET. I mean, when people get in the beginning, it's not going to go very well. I think it would take a while for people to calm down, and it's also going to depend on which race of ET actually shows up in a unified front. Are they going to be 3 or 4 races that show up? Is it going to be 1? Is it going to be 2? To show that there are unified races of ET that are willing and able, more than able, to talk to humans publicly. I mean, it's going to be a difficult thing, because people are stupid when it comes to, you get the mob mentality in a store for sales. Look at what Black Friday used to be.
Oh, of
you
course.
get a mob mentality. Well, it's the same kind of scenario when it comes to a perceived threat. And when somebody has a perceived threat, when a lot of people have a perceived threat, you get things that are January 6th-esque. You get a lot of things such as what happened just before and immediately after COVID, and the toilet paper. I mean, it's like, hello. People perceive things very differently, and many people are going to go, yeah, okay, so what? We've already known that. But at the same time, they're going to go, oh, holy shit, that really is real. And oh my God, and then it hits them with the reality of what that truly means. Well, then there's the hope of, is it going to help for our sciences now because that it is out in public? Is that a potential for sciences changing? You know, science and ET tech has been slowly coming out for many years, 60, 70 years, and yet at the same time, it's been since 32 or 33 is what I saw on a piece of paper, shall we say. And so I know, and everybody says, oh, it's from 1943 or 1947. Bullshit. Government's known about this a whole hell of a lot longer than the 40s. So, I mean, just when it happens, whenever it happens, don't be a freak out. I mean, don't do a freak out. It's like, okay, holy shit, this is real. Take it in stride and move on. I mean, how is it going to directly affect you? When you see something like this and it's out and many people are seeing it and you're being a witness to it, how is your response going to be? How was your response during 9/11? Is it going to be one of those moments where you're just absolutely in shock and awe? Or is it going to be, well, it's about goddamn time that you put your balls out in the sky and showed everybody, and everybody's viewing it, actually seeing it? Or are you going to be running off and getting your guns and, oh my God, it's demons and it's this and it's that? Well, Eric had made a post yesterday or the day before where he had said, it's something about, I don't remember, I can't even paraphrase it, but it was something about how everybody perceives things as it's always demons. And I fully agree with him. I'm so tired of that. There's a couple of people that I know from different chats, and that's all they view, is that everything is demons. And even ETs are demons. No! Demons are actually, true demons are actually very rare. Wannabes, however, there's thousands of them. Hundreds of thousands of them. So anyway, it's just what they want to play. But, you know, learn to be prepared.
Well,
Take your fear and turn it into knowledge. Inform yourself.
so here's the thing, though. Okay. I am talking, like, I've been talking about ethics and whether it's ethical for, like, if they want to come down and say they're real, that's fine, but they also have some explaining to do to some people.
Yeah.
Such as?
Certain abductees.
Yeah. Hey, it wasn't us.
For example,
Guys.
you. You deserve answers for
Yeah.
some of the stuff that's happened to you.
So do a lot of people.
But, like, I'm mostly talking about us as a people.
As a population.
As a population, releasing a lot of this information.
Yep.
Releasing any information, really. And, like,
That's
when
what
it comes
I wanted.
when it comes to ethics, I always go with what's called the four-way test. And it's a Rotary International thing. One of the first Rotarians invented it or came up with it. And it's 4 questions you have to ask yourself. And number 1 is it the truth? Number 2 is it fair to all concerned? Number 3 is, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number 4 is, will it be beneficial to all concerned? If you can answer all 4 of those questions truthfully and come up with positive answers for all of them, then yes, it would be ethical. But
See, that's the thing. Government's not ethical.
Yeah. But missing one of them, you have to question whether it's worth it. For example, bringing out information on the existence of Bigfoot. Actually telling people where he would be.
Well,
Number 2 is automatically the number 1, the problem.
there's a reason why government doesn't talk, and one of it is to do with it's a security issue because of what they know and what they have that they have turned into tech or methods that they're using that they don't want another country to know about.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Some of that information can be released in such a way. They do it all the freaking time to begin with. Some of that information can be released in such a way to where it becomes out there in the mainstream. And it can be done, they do it all the damn time for cover stories. Just, add a huge amount of truth with a partial part of a cover story. I mean, you do it all the time anyway. At least it's plausible. It makes things plausible for the tech. It gives semi answers. It may not answer everything, but still, it's very frustrating. Yeah, I and every single ET abductee deserves the right to have answers, especially if they have an ET race that's taking them that is essentially doing a mind wipe on them, or is doing a mind wipe and then inserting screen memory. Because that was something I was thinking about earlier today. I was thinking about a number of factors regarding the ETs, and one of them is, there's U.S. government and other governments on this planet who are working with the ETs. I know this because of what I have witnessed, what I have seen on board ship. Now, here's the thing is, this is what I was going to say. What I said about Sasquatch also applies to the ETs, because you've got so many different races. So if you tell the general population, the general public, and show them this one race, whatever that race of ET is, there's going to be a freak out stage, but there's also what people in the general population, where they will think it's sci-fi, it's not going to hit them until much later that, oh my God, it's not just, it's, it's they're there. Well, who else is there with them? Well, maybe they give a I don't know, a group, it's a little on the unrealistic side, but, do a group ET, come together. This is just a smattering of, this is just a few of us that are out here in the galaxy, in this galaxy that is our galaxy as well, our universe as well. And this is what we're doing. And
when you first said this, I automatically pictured like an AA meeting. Like, hi, my name's Tom. I'm an alien. I'm sorry I probed you.
I know, it went across my head. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Now I know it came from you. I knew it was out of it, but I didn't expect me to be receiving. Holy shit, I was wondering where the hell that came from.
Everybody in the audience is like, fucking Tom. You prick.
That was not cool.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's just, there's so many different avenues. Yeah, people are going to freak out. I mean, initially, they're going to lose their ever frickin' minds. But then there are going to be a lot of people who aren't. There are going to be so many different levels of it, but yet at the same time, how many Americans have guns and weapons? I mean, what is the first thing that they go for? People go for their guns. But if you've been trained, typically, you don't, because you know what that means. I mean, truly means.
But that's the problem. I think a lot of our major cities are going to have huge issues.
Yeah.
With pretty much a 99.9% of the way they do that, percentile of the way they do this. We are going to have huge issues because our automatic, our incentive is not let's band together and fight. It's every man for himself. Let's start looting.
Yeah. Let's start making a buck.
Yeah.
What can we make a buck off of this? How can we make money off of it?
Yeah.
Once the fear factor comes away, then you've got the greed factor kicking in.
I was telling John about when in 2012, when Alberta flooded real bad. And they caught a guy in Calgary selling cases of water for $150
Good God.
in his store. And the city didn't shut him down. Instead, they taxed him. He raised the price of his water by like 800%, so they taxed him 800% on every item in the store.
Wow.
And they shut down his store.
Wow.
And then when he applied for another license, he never got one.
No, you're not going to be able to because, hello, that's price gouging.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you're going to have people doing that. You're going to have people going straight up and looting places. I think,
Are we really? Do we really think that in this day and age that if they said aliens were here tomorrow, that we'd all? I mean, this country, we have.
Because it puts a certain kind of fear.
It
puts no control. We have no control. That's why, Rick.
Well, but
that's
the
what
thing
it boils down to.
Yeah, I mean, it could, yeah, in certain places, like in the South and certain, but like on the West Coast, the East Coast, I don't know that it would make a big difference. Yeah, I just don't. We have riots going on. literal. We've got campuses that are being turned into war zones over something that's happening on the other side of the planet that affects none of them. That's mostly just rich white kids in a lot of instances. And you think aliens are going to? It's like they're going to just look at it and go, okay, and they'll just go about their business. I just don't know that outside of the South, there's some places like the Heartland. I guess the what do they call the flyover states? Yeah, probably. But
Rick, in the NHL right now, do you know what the biggest worry in the NHL right now is?
Hockey, because nobody cares.
Vancouver.
Oh, what about Vancouver?
The last time they did a playoff run, the entire city rioted when they lost.
Oh, but that's hockey. They do that shit all the time. Philadelphia.
Not like this.
They win a
Rick,
championship.
It was like the 1960s riots, like the civil rights riots. They were flipping over cars into buildings.
Have you not seen West Virginia when they win a major football game against anybody in their conference?
But
they burn couches in the streets.
That's the point. It's not just the South. It doesn't matter where you are. That type of shit happens everywhere, and it doesn't take a lot.
Oh, yeah, but I just don't think that would be the biggest thing on most people's agendas. I don't.
Are you dealing with a lack?
I am wrong. I'm sure I'm wrong.
Well, but did you honestly think...
They have no more control. It boils down to the fear comes from a lack of control because they can control everything around your... It's just like learning it's like learning you're a puppet on a string in some ways.
But if they show up and our government is all like, hey, we've known about this and we just wanted to kind of roll it out slow and they're all peaceful and everything's good.
That's what they're in the process of doing now.
Yeah. So that's sort of this gradual sort. So if it's not like they show up on our doorstep like they did in Independence Day and they're like, okay, we got city killers right over the top of our heads and they're wiping out cities.
Speaking of which, the ETs hate our movies about them. Oh my god! Oh my god! I was watching a movie a number of months back. I was watching Battleship, and the next thing I hear is my ET spirit guide. Now I call her an ET spirit guide. She is living. She's in. She's one of the ETs that can communicate telepathically, and I don't hear from her all the time. But so I'm sitting there watching Battlefield, munching on some popcorn, and I hear some smart-ass comment from her, which she never makes smart-ass comments. So this came and out of the blue, I was like, hello, you're here. That was loud. And snarky comments. I mean, they do not like the movies that we make about them because it's all fear factor. It's all terror. And as it was put to me, they're not about terror. They're not about fear. And the ones that do not want anything to do with our human military factors or factions on this planet, they want peace. They want understanding. They want a better, higher consciousness for those of us on this planet. And they want us to get there, and they're frustrated and angry by the different governments because the different governments are essentially dumbing down the population. And I mean, she didn't say all this one time, but there were a number of things that she did talk about, and then it was after that when I was getting taken, I started asking more questions about certain things, and that's the long and the short of it from them, from what I've been told. It's been kind of an eye-opener, and yet the ones that work with the military, they're into a form of higher consciousness. The ETs that are working with the human military, the ETs are training the humans, from what I have seen, into a very specific kind of what we would call like a Mortal Kombat, or a form of a it's a kind of fighting that you can do. It's almost, it's a form of higher consciousness work, but it's in such a way to where you're literally thinking fractions and fractions of seconds ahead of your body actions. And it's almost like playing chess, but in action form and fast. Really fast. They want the speed, they want the agility, they want your movements in a very, very specific way, and they teach it to specific individuals, and I've seen it, I've witnessed it. That I know. So, and there's more than just that I'm talking about that they teach, but to the abductees. And so there are some things that they will have you do and they'll wipe your mind. I take great issue to having my mind a screenshot put over it, or a screen memory put over it, and a fake memory, or a memory to where they try to make it like a dream, but yet I have physical bruises of action that I had that time on the ship. So yeah, there are things where we all want answers, Cole. We want to remember there, and there are some things that, as an abductee, that you have to make the realization you'll never have answers for, because of the way they wipe a certain section of the brain. And that's the thing. You have, as an abductee, you have zero control. Now, I know other abductees that I know right now would call bullshit on that and would tell me I'm full of shit. But based on my own experience and my own opinion, yeah, it's answers are not always easily accessible, and dealing with the ETs, it's a hell of a shock. It was a hell of a shock for me to make the realization, as an abductee, to make the realization, oh my God, I have been an abductee. These have not been dreams. This is why I had bruises. This is why I had marks on my body that nobody could figure out what the hell they were from. It's a major realization to go, oh, I can't discount that. I can't prove it, but I can't discount it either, because I remember this happening before the incident and this happening right after the incident, but there's a time fraction that's missing. So I know I'm babbling right now, but there are things that regarding the ETs, it's a huge fear factor. It's a huge, huge loss of our control and of what we can control around us. Being an abductee, you can't, there's no control over it, depending upon the race that is taking you, suppose is how I should say that. So like with the military, I have no freaking idea why I was specifically targeted. Not a clue. I mean, there are estimations and guesses, assumptions I can make based on bits and pieces of information, but they're only assumptions. There's no way to know for sure. So it's just there's no control. You have no control over your own body when you get abducted. They take complete control. Well, there's a fear factor right there. There's a terror, absolute sheer terror factor when you know you have no control whatsoever. Nothing, not over your body, not even over your mind, because they can shut it down.
Well, and that's the thing. I would imagine.
When you think about that kind of control being taken on a human being that doesn't have the kind of abilities that they can manifest, like certain races of ETs who do abduct. Not all races of ETs that abduct have that mind-wiping ability. But there are some that are very predominant, and boy, they know how to do it, and they are really freaking excellent at it, because they've been doing it for a long, long, long time. So, yeah, I mean, it's... We can make jokes all we want about, or even what we think is going to happen, but when the rubber meets the road, it's going to come down to fear factor.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm also thinking about, like, I know you say, like you said, most abductees would feel vindicated.
Yeah. I know on one hand I would, but at the same time I wouldn't, because it's like, well, you're finally showing your ass. What the hell?
But I imagine there's also a few that deal with it, and I'm talking about the ones that don't openly talk about it.
Yeah.
By ignoring it and saying it didn't happen. That's not what it was.
Or they'll have a meltdown.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll trigger them into a what's the new version of PTSD? Complex PTSD? It'll become an instantaneous trigger, and it will trigger the person into I mean, the psychology on this, Cole, when you think about it, and you think, like what you just talked about, that person that does not ever talk about their experience, they're still in victimhood. It's the survivorship. It's the survivor mode of something that is most likely, possibly terrorific to them. Not terrific, terrorific. I know there's another way to say that, but my brain, I've had a very, very long day, so with very little sleep. So, excuse the language and the words, but basically, yeah, there's a huge terror factor there, and if it doesn't, then they're shoving that so far down and internalizing it so much that it's not going to hit them for days. And when it does, man, watch out.
Yeah.
I would not. I remember when my memories, the abuse that I went through as a child, when those came flooding back, oh my God. And it was all because of one little thing. And it was like I've had flashbacks, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't. And then all of a sudden, something and it was like floodgates. And I lost my mind. I literally, I called up a friend. I said, hey, I need you to come get my son. I can feel a meltdown about to happen, and I need you to get my kid. Because I need to be able to do this and know that my kid is safe, but yet I need to be able to release. And they're like, I will be there as quickly as I can, and within 20 minutes. And by that 20 minutes time, everything was packed and ready to go for that kid. And all they had to do was grab and my friend came and she was like, you are not okay. And I'm like, no. And she said, just give me let me know when he's getting picked up. And I said, okay. And I made a phone call and I said to somebody else, I need you to pick up the kid after work, and can you do that? And they were like, yeah, and I had about 2 hours to where I lost it. I wasn't okay. And when you are going through, and that's just from, and okay, that's going to come out the wrong way. Any SA survivor is going to freak hearing me say that. Anyway, it's not just. That was my reaction from SA, sexual assault. And so, and I lost it. I mean, I was not okay. I was just a heap upon the floor, basically. And it took me quite a while to regain the composure and to start thinking and not just be a ball of tears and go through the reaction I did. And when I made the realization, I mean the true realization that all these things that I have in my memory, it all, I remember coming in from the kitchen, because it happened in the kitchen. I was walking into the kitchen at the time. And from the kitchen, from the time I went to the kitchen to the time that I sat down in my chair, it was probably 3 minutes. And just getting to the chair, it was like everything was in slow motion. And it's the same way for me when I had that trigger happen. So for an abductee, I mean, there's so many different forms that are going to be triggering for them. There's hundreds of thousands of abductees, if not millions. Yeah. I mean, this is a lot of people, a lot of things that are being done to them. Many remember. They're not talking about it, but and what I mean by many remember is that many remember the ones that are going through the good stuff. They're going to remember that, and they still may never talk about it. And there are people that will forever talk about it and never shut up about it. And then there are those that are like me who knew sections of it and couldn't put. I mean, you're a critical thinking person, and you're trying to figure out scientifically, why is this happening? Why is that happening? What the hell made that happen? How come you've got bruises and specific, like strap mark bruises and 3 triangle marks from what look like 3 hole punches in your arm, but they're smaller than that. And they're in the shape of a triangle, or you've got a scoop out on the inside of your knee, and you can't figure out why, or you've got one on the inside of your arm and you can't figure out why, or you have scratches on your back and you know it's not paranormal and you know it's not from your partner. Hello. So there are things that, I mean, those that are freaking out, whenever this takes place, for those that freak out because of the loss of control, they're going to be going over, and the anger that hits with it too is going to kick in. But the ones that that experience it to where they, I'm concerned about the population. I'm quite concerned about the population, because the psychology on this is going to be a mind fuck. There's no other way to say it. I mean, it's not going to be good all the way around. On one hand, it's going to be, I think it'll be fine. I truly, honestly believe that once we get over the big hurdle, the first 3 hurdles of this, I think will be okay. At least that's my take on it. Oh, stop it, buddy. Excuse me. So, the hell moves that out? Sorry, I just gotta. Anyway, so yeah, it just makes it interesting when you look at things and you get down to the nitty gritty and how people will really react. I mean, yeah, you're going to have people that are going to, in religion, I mean, they're going to get up in arms, but when it really comes down to it, it's going to be the fear factor, the loss of control, the oh shit, this really is real. It's not science. It's not science fiction. Excuse me. It's not science fiction make believe anymore. We really do have. Okay, then what are we looking at? What is, and so there's the progression. Come out of the fear factor, come out of the loss of control factor, you start questioning. Well, and after the anger, then you start questioning. Then the logical, sequential, thought-provoking stuff comes up, and the critical thinking kicks in, and then it's like, okay, where do we go from here? What are our science is going to do about this? What's the government's going to do about this? And all of that comes into play. So it's just, I don't think it's all down and depressing and negative and all of that. But I do think that if we prepare for when it is about to happen or when it does happen, we'll have the knowledge behind us. And it won't be such a horrible fear factor for us and our families. For other people, and that may be the thing. It may be those ET abductees who have been an abductee for a very long time, and those who support those abductees. I think it's going to be those of us who start talking and saying, hey, look, this does not have to be a fear factor or a loss of control issue. You know, let's gather around, gather around and make some noise is the terminology that just popped into my head at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's how you make noise. You know, I do know that there are protocols. I don't know how I know that. I literally saw the word protocol, like the movie Protocol, but then I literally felt like military, the word military protocol. There's some kind of protocol to it. Now, whatever that means, that could mean a billion different things coming from numerous different races of ET. But so what happens when here's the same situation? What happens when Dogman comes out, Sasquatch come out that it's real, giants come out and it's real, skinwalkers. I mean, there are so many different. What happens when science proves that Fae and the Fae realms are real? I mean, eventually,
everything
that'll eventually come into play.
Everything you said before the Fae,
yeah,
gets a bath first. That first moment,
well,
especially Dogman. But like
Dogman is real. If I hadn't experienced what I went through,
but should they come out?
Yeah, that's the scary one. To me, the Dogman, I wouldn't care so much about. Well, I do care about Sasquatch coming out and all of that, but Dogman, I don't give two beans about. That said, I do know that they're real. And the reason I know that is because of an experience that I went through with a Sasquatch who let me see what a Dogman looked like to him. What he saw through his own eyes, he let me see through his eyes, and I'm here to tell you, it was terrifying. So, that's a whole nother ball game all alone. But my point about the Fae is once ETs are eventually integrated into Earth, so to speak, society, I suppose is how I should say that, it's integrated into society in some fashion or form. I'm curious as to how the other realms are going to come into play, such as the Fae realm, such as other realms and the hierarchies. How many more years or hundreds of years or thousands of years will it come into play to where the Fae do the same thing that the ETs have done? And now you're looking at a completely different set of dynamics.
Yeah.
Talk about the real fear factor. Keep finding out that real portals are there and can happen, and you can get pulled into another dimension, and vortexes are real, and wormholes are real, and oh my, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. So my point is that there are so many, this opens the door to so many different levels of quote-unquote paranormal. Not an easy subject for some people to really, they can talk and walk a good walk and talk, but when the rubber meets the road, how do they really do?
Yeah. Friend.
Just going back to the beginning of everything, and your friends that have the aliens that, and how they're perceived in movies. I watched the Battleship at the movie theater, and I've watched it about a dozen times after, and I think I've gotten dumber because of it. So I cannot even begin to fathom an alien race that could traverse across the universe and show up on a planet and then we have to hop across the ocean. Yay! This is how we get across. Oh, but the reason I love it, battleship porn. You get to see an actual honest-to-God battleship unload its guns, and I don't care. I know it's all fake, and I know everything else. It's awesome.
But that made me a happy girl. There's a number of reasons why I like that movie. That was one of them.
It's just the stupidest movie of all time. It's just so many dumb things in it. The whole plot.
Yeah, but it's
every
fun.
character is an idiot, including Liam Neeson. Believe it or not, they made him look stupid. But yeah, at the end of it, you get to see the New Jersey fire off a bunch of rounds at this alien battleship or ship, and you just get to see it blow up. And it's just the best, with a bunch of old guys doing all the work. That's the best part. A bunch of guys that served on the ship. So,
that's coming together.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's one of my guilty pleasures. Independence Day and that.
Okay, I gotta ask: was Paula kidding
about what?
The zebra?
No, the zebra running loose across Seattle.
No, yeah. She said it just went by you.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
It might have. To be honest, it possibly could have. I was a little bit preoccupied.
They got a picture of of one of the zebras on Seattle something fair. One of the ferries, Bremerton. That's what it was. Bremerton.
That thing's everywhere. It's been to Dick's Drive-In. It's
yeah. The people have been putting pictures up in the group for concrete. And I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Oh, no, that's funny.
This dumb zebra thing is because, and it's out there. It's just gonna. We were watching the news report today, and about 3 of the people were like, "Oh, this is so great, and I hope it goes out to live in the wilderness for the rest of its life." And I'm thinking, yeah, with all the mountain lions, bears, and anything else out there that could eat it, yeah, that'll work good.
First thing it's going to do is meet a grizzly. And they're going to eat berries together.
It circles back around, so there you go.
Friend.
God, that all reminded me of, when you were talking about that, Cole, it all reminded me of the times that our family would come together, all the cousins, the original family were brothers and sisters, 6 brothers and sisters. And all of their kids and grandkids would go camping together. And we used to camp, I'm not going to say what, in the Wenatchee area. We used to camp in the Wenatchee area. And, yeah, you started mentioning that, it was reminding me of rattlesnakes with grizzly bears. When you were talking about the grizzly bears. It was reminding me of camping trips with my family with rattlesnakes and huckleberry hunting and mountain hiking and yeah, you always had to watch out for the cougars, the rattlesnakes, and for God's sake, watch out for them bears.
Everything out there will kill you. That's why you stay in the city, and even then, it's not guaranteed. So,
well, okay, so last year, Kayla,
wilderness, babe. No way.
For the first time in a few years, Kayla took the kids for a hike when we went camping at SWAT Campground on Highway 97.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to an area that she used to go as a kid all the time. And all of a sudden, they ran into a cave.
No, it wasn't.
Well, it was the entrance to a cave.
Yeah.
There is dead things all over the frickin' ground.
We went straight into a cougar site.
Right into the den.
what? Why? Why would you go into the place where you know there's probably going to be those things?
Because they didn't notice until they saw the rabbits 20 feet behind them.
There was like a sea of dead little rabbits.
Fred. First time Kayla goes hiking in so long, and that's what she gets herself into.
I assume all caves up here will kill you. That's, automatically. There's something. If
Not if you know a Sasquatch.
Hey,
well,
Rick,
there's that.
That's not fair. Caves don't kill people. Grizzlies kill people.
Yeah. Grizzlies live in caves.
Yeah, but the cave didn't do anything to you, did it?
No, not. Okay. So the Cave Appreciation Society can come after me now. Okay, fine. I'm canceled. Good God Almighty. Yes, yeah, it's really there. Get it? Jesus.
That was my reaction too.
The only time I will say that a cave ever gets you in trouble is when you get married.
I can honestly say I've never. Well, no, that's not entirely true.
Commenting. I have not. I got so many comments. Oh my God! Keep it clean. Nikki.
I'm just saying, it makes sense. Because where is the cave? Below the hills. Friend, everything works in that analogy.
Yeah. I was going to say I've been in one cave in my entire life, and it was one of those tourist trap caves. Yeah, they had them in the hill country in Texas, where it's dinosaur bones and everything else. There's a whole bunch of crap around there, but yeah, it's one of the caverns where you go in. But yeah, other than that, no, I don't know that I've ever seen a cave in the wild, and I don't know that I'd ever go into one in the wild. I probably would go, there's probably a rattlesnake, a bear, a cougar, an alien, Bigfoot, or either Donald Trump or Joe Biden, depending on your political leanings that moment. So,
Snakes, Bigfoot, and portals are the things that you got to watch out for.
I forgot about portals. Yes, I forgot about portals.
So we went into one when we were kids, and it actually ended up being the coolest thing we've ever found. And it ended up being one of the first homesteads in the area. Like, we found homemade furniture that wasn't, like, this was the first people that ever moved into the valley.
What?
Like, the first modern people that ever moved into the valley. We found their home.
Cool.
Yeah, so, like, sometimes there can be some really cool stuff in caves.
Yeah, but that's then the dumb people in first that will get eaten by whatever it is, and then you can go, okay, they were eaten. Then we'll go in with the guns and clear out whatever's in there that's eating you, and then,
Well, no, that's why you grab a chicken first and send it in first.
And,
Yeah, so they grab you.
There's a lot of dumb people in the universe that need to be kind of...
They work way better than canaries because they're louder. Friend, if they're getting killed, you know it.
Yeah.
Chickens, roosters, too.
Yeah?
My
Friend.
God, they're...
I don't know. You get somebody that's just like, hey, I want to go in and commune with nature. Hey, Mr. Bear, Mr. Mountain Lion, Mr. Alien, Bigfoot, whatever, portal. And then there's a loud, I guarantee you, there'll be a loud human scream like they do in the movies. And then it's like, okay, we know not to go in there. Or at the very least, send in an actual probe to do it.
The bear will send in a probe? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. You send in a robot or something. Yes. Oh, God, yes, with the probes. Oh, boy, that was unfortunate. Yes. Yeah.
What kind of fucking bears do you have in Texas? Jesus Christ.
No. Well, no. I mean, if we're worried, if whatever comes out isn't like, okay, well, wait, it's...
You can hear
it depends on the street.
When did a bear get a probe?
We do have bears in Texas. We do have brown bears. I think we have brown bears. But, no, they're...
That probe.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd rather get mauled.
Oh, Lord.
Right when I take a drink of my tea. Damn it. I don't know if I could swallow that or not.
You don't have drones now that we can send into these things. We don't have to actually send anything in. We can send in a little, like, drone with a camera. And
E.T. does that all the time.
We could just send in a small child.
They'll
figure it out.
I mean, it's not like we're sending down these $1 trillion submersibles down the Titanic where if they get caught up in the wreckage or anything. Most of these things, are like $50 at these days, and you can just fly it down and like get a fairly good image. And oh, look, there's the bear. Oh, it just took our drone out. Oh, darn, we're out to $50. Huh. There we go. I don't know what this means to anything. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, if you go in there yourself with a gun, friend, now you're not out $50. You're out 25 cents for a bullet, and you got a bear hide.
But what if it's a portal and or an alien and or a Bigfoot and the bullet doesn't work?
Well, 2 out of 3 of those you still got to hide.
Yeah.
You're not going to get much like warmth out of a portal, but
with a portal you get more.
You have something to throw stuff.
Yeah. Like, you got a free trash can.
Yeah.
No longer have to pay the city for it.
Wondering what you were going to do with that extra mattress? Now you know.
Oh, and you could get a lot of oil, a whole new land to take over, like your American ancestors.
Wow.
It's true.
Isn't what they do is throw mattresses and crap in the caves all over?
What they do, isn't it?
Yeah. And I always thought that was like, It's just because it's a hole in the ground doesn't mean you throw crap in it. I mean, good lord. We dig holes and we build garbage dumps for this stuff. Come on, people. We're civilized.
Yeah, but that hole's quicker.
I know
it's more
quick
convenient.
and or cheaper. It's usually cheaper.
And it's just right there. Like, it's not going
$20
anywhere.
versus going to the dump in Rockport versus if there was a cave nearby, people just going and dumping their trash in the cave.
It's free.
There you go. America, hell yeah. And that's not the thing. The rest of the world's worse than we are, so.
I don't know.
And on
You that are really bad.
call it a night.
There are some places that are better.
Where? And don't say Canada.
He's gonna say fucking Denmark, and I know it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Denmark's the status of a postage stamp. Nobody gives a rat's butt.
Yeah, but it's like a very vintage postage stamp. It's like one of the collectibles.
Yeah. And the Germans will invade them again at some point. Don't worry, it'll happen. So, and all their precious little stamps and all everything else in there. Okay. We'll all go to hell. But probably the Russians, actually, so never mind. It'll be worse.
You're just hitting all of them.
Yeah, how did we get back to the 80s where the Russians are gonna attack?
I don't know.
All the Cold War stuff.
Friend.
It's
the
all
stuff
back
you guys
again.
were around for.
Hiding underneath the tables in your schoolroom.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Hiding underneath a
Did you do
table
that?
that they classify as a desk. Oh, yes, we did.
See, I didn't, I guess, for whatever reason,
We did
did
that. We did that in Seattle, and we did that in Mount Vernon. And
My class-
actually, 5th and 6th grade, and then it wasn't done again.
Nope, we just hide in the corner.
Yeah, but that's for a totally different reason.
No. It's for earthquake and for shooter drills. It's for both. We hide in a
You're
corner.
gonna all go together in one spot so they have one concentrated place to shoot you at.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense. You're giving away the hiding spot to the person who's most likely going to be the one having the gun in school, is the person inside the
Trying
building.
to say this without saying you, aren't you?
No. But
Use the word one.
But you're giving the person the whole, strategy of how you're going to survive. And they're in the classroom taking notes.
Jesus. Oh,
Which doesn't make sense.
Well, be prepared. Know how to operate weapons. Tear them down. Know how to tear them down. Build them back up. Clean them. Repair them. And know your self-defense. I mean, doing it.
no,
just
not what
prepared.
your teacher's telling
Or
you.
You gotta remember, too,
tire
Come in.
iron.
you only have
Over
half
with
the
the-
story.
Yeah, that's true.
Because twice a year, your school does drills when you're not in there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like I said, just do the opposite of what they tell you to do. Stand behind a door. Have
With
a
the tire.
desperate- Hit them with it.
Yeah, because every single classroom has a crowbar. So if you just grab that crowbar, stand behind the door, wait till they come in, you could easily,
What?
sweep their legs.
So
In every single classroom, there is the yellow bucket.
Yeah.
It is for emergencies. So there's a crowbar, there's toilet paper, there's a little bit of food, a little bit of water, and just basic medical supplies.
I'm guessing
prob-
because of earthquake.
no, they didn't add the fucking toilet paper till after COVID.
Yeah.
But this is earthquake preparedness, right?
Yeah, it's just in case anything happens and we get stuck in there.
That's the weirdest. Okay, get stuck in there. Crowbar, I get, but Man,
But,
that's actually
yeah.
Look at concrete being ahead of the curve.
Actually,
Congratulations.
we were one of the last schools that actually had that.
Yeah.
Well,
Concrete can't afford a curve anymore.
Yeah.
They don't even have a principal next year.
Yeah, we're getting rid of every single advisor and
administrator.
no, not administrator.
No, just the principal.
No, they're also talking about getting rid of all the people who help with your emotions. All those, I can't remember, counselors.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting rid of all the counselors too. So
Why?
we can't afford it.
Oh, that'll be good.
We're poor.
Hey. No counselors.
Yay. I never used them anyway, so.
Guns all over
Should
the
be
place.
importing them.
This is gonna be
Importing
fun.
them from like Mount Vernon or Burlington.
Well, the stupid part is,
We actually did that.
and then the governor came in a couple weeks ago and talked to the kids, and the kids asked him, "What are you going to do about our school and like what's going on with it?" And he said, "Well, unfortunately, in these times we're at right now, sometimes schools like yours just get the short end of the stick," and that's the only answer he gave.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds like Inslee.
Yeah.
Ah, wonderful.
No, that sounds like anything to do with schools.
Yeah.
That's the same shit that my mother got back in the 1970s, and I can tell you right now. Oh man, she had a lot to say. Do you remember the music, the song, and the movie, made-for-TV movie, PTA? Harper Valley PTA. The Day My Mama Socked It to the Harper Valley PTA is a song, and it's also a made-for-TV movie. And it was from like the late 70s, early 80s, I think.
79-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 79 to maybe 81, 82 at the most. My mom was very much like that. She was like ballbuster. It's like, you don't fuck with the kids. You don't fuck with their education. And there were things that she would come up against when she got from the Seattle School District to the Mount Vernon School District. And there were things that she not happy about, and this was the early 80s, and she was a ball buster at times. So yeah, you have to be as a parent, and yet at the same time, if there are things that your kids need, you have to fight for them, and that may mean finding other ways to get the money, other ways of funding to get the money. And if the state isn't doing it, then the parents and the teachers need to come together and go federally. And go after it federally and make a royal fucking stink about it in the media. Because that's the only way to get anything done, is to take it to the media. Almost anything done. There's certain people in the media that are real ballbusters, and you want them behind your back. You want them are standing in front of you, making waves. Because that's the only way to get things done.
Hey, is the show over?
It is. We are at the end.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So
holy shit.
Next week's topic is going to be giant cryptids, real and mythological. So we're going to talk dragons. We're even going to hit Godzilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
We're going to hit all of them. Friend, King Kong. Friend. All the big guys.
All right.
All cryptids?
Huh?
All cryptids? Big?
Or just cryptids.
Or just like...
Big cryptids.
Okay.
I'm not understanding your question here.
Makes sense.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. As always, thank you very much, Rick and Nikki. You guys are awesome.
Yes,
Friend,
thank you.
Thank you, John, for nothing.
Wow.
Friend.
Oh my god.
You wouldn't be here without me.
Actually, that's the other way around, kid.
I know.
Yeah.
Actually.
All right.
God.
Thank you for listening again. We will see you next Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the S-4 Paranormal Bunker. Thank you very much for listening again. Good night, guys.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.